right, so Kobe, just before I hit record, was talking about he does character builds on his channel for D&D. He shifted recently more towards not just how to make optimal builds, but how to make a build, a concept that is challenging to make in 5e. Would that be fair?
I would say still optimal build, but maybe with like artificial restraints on myself in the name of character concept. But it's actually something I've been doing since a few months in to starting the channel.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just going to say that if you enjoy doing that Pathfinder could be a really good space for that, because what you can go for a concept and it doesn't necessarily kill your math.
Right.
So that's
judging by the reception of the video I just posted today about learning Pathfinder as a D&D vet, there's probably Pathfinder builds in my near future.
Ooh, I'm going to be the first to cheer. I'm excited.
My entire team of people that work for me have gotten Pathfinder books now. Well, at least two of them. At least two of the main guys who do a lot of the stuff for it. One, we want to shift our publications so that we can make them so that they work for both 5th edition and Pathfinder. What I'm interested in and what I like doing bleeds over into my life. So I feel like the more I play Pathfinder, the more probability that there's going to be some Pathfinder stuff on my channel too, even though a lot of times my videos are pretty agnostic.
We leveled up at the end of the last session, so let's just go over who wants to be first.
I took a United Assault for my class feat. Through countless battles, you've learned you're stronger when you're working alongside your allies. Make a strike. Your strike gains a circumstance bonus to damage rolls equal to the number of other different creatures that damage the target since the end of the target's last turn, to a maximum of a +4 circumstance bonus.
So you're like a gang leader.
You're goddamn right I am. I took the Scout dedication because, as the people may know from session 0 or whatever, I will absolutely play a suboptimal build if it's good for the story. When I use the Scout exploration activity, I grant my allies a +2 circumstance bonus to their initiative rolls instead of a +1. So I'm just a team player, baby.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Pathfinder. It gives you a lot of specific kind of jobs you can do while in exploration mode.
We still need your skill feats.
I, of course, knew this. I was simply testing you. So I took Shadow Mark. You have learned special tricks that help you follow individuals without them noticing you. When you attempt a stealth check to avoid notice while following a specific target, the target takes a -2 circumstance penalty to their perception DC. If you start an encounter with the target while shadowing them, the target takes this penalty to their initiative roll.
I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that if you ever get advance notice that there's an enemy in the next room or something, you'll want to hunt prey on them and then also try to avoid notice against them. So you have 2 class feats that both have the flourish trait. Flourish means that you can only use 1 flourish action per turn.
For my class feat, I took Stunning Fist. For all of you D&D players out there, this is sort of Pathfinder's equivalent of the Monk's Stunning Strike, but we get it at level 2 as opposed to at level 5. If I target the same creature with my Flurry of Blows, which gives me 2 attacks for the price of 1 action, I can try to stun them, right? So if either of those hits lands and deals damage, then they have to make a Fortitude save against my Monk DC, or they're stunned 1, or stunned 3 if they crit fail. And stunned is nice in that it prevents them from doing lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it's attacks on their actions. So stunned 1 means they lose 1 action.
There's nothing in here that says I couldn't just repeat it every turn, right?
It doesn't. You don't have to track.
It's not a
key.
focus point.
Also, it has incapacitation effect. So if they are higher level than you, then they treat their Fortitude saving throw as 1 degree of success better. So if you're facing big boss monsters, it's going to be harder to...
My archetype feat, the Rogue dedication, just tells me when I go before another enemy on that first round of combat, they're flat-footed. If I roll Deception or Stealth for initiative. The skill feat that I took is Risky Surgery, which sounded really cool. When I use Treat Wounds, if I want to, I can deal 1d8 slashing damage to the patient. Then I get a +2 circumstance bonus to that medicine check to treat wounds, right? So I'm more likely to succeed. And if I succeed, it's a critical success, meaning that instead of healing 2d8, you heal 4d8.
One thing that I missed that's easy to miss about the Rogue dedication feat is that you get a skill feat.
Okay, I'm working on finding a new skill feat now.
For my class feat at 2nd level, took Healing Hands. It increases my damage, my healing dice from D8s to D10s. And then I picked Sentinel Dedication, which basically allows me to wear heavy armor. And because as a dwarf, I took Unburdened Iron, I do not take speed penalties from heavy armor. My strength isn't that high. I only have a 14th strength.
It reduces your penalty by 5, which is a little mathy and confusing. But once you bulk up, it will get, faster.
Yeah. And then I picked Quick Repair, in part because the list was really long. This one seemed useful because I can repair an item in a minute. I don't know if this would work for my shield, but if my shield got broken, could I repair my shield?
Repair normally takes 10 minutes. As your crafting skill improves, it can be done in the middle of combat even. It's of limited use now because you were usually going in 10-minute increments outside of combat.
I believe there's a rule that says that with some downtime and training, you can swap some of these things out too, correct?
Yeah, by default, 7 days to retrain a feat. Okay, I want to go back to Orion. One of the people commenting on my vids was saying to give some more variety to your turns. Another thing to do is to get a weapon that lets you do combat maneuvers with the weapon. Yeah, normally you need a free hand. Dominic and Sean were talking about the Kopesh, which is not an axe. However, we can reflavor it. We can call it Battle Axe, but it has this thing's mechanics instead. Instead of having the sweep trait, it will have the trip trait. Lets you trip people with it. Is that something you're open to?
Sure. I am but a humble disciple here, and if you think that will give me more variety and more fun times...
I just wanted to know if you objected. I don't want any refluffing BS. I want what the rules tell me I'm gonna have.
Ronald, you've known me for long enough.
I know.
You should know.
For the viewers, this is an exercise. Of course I knew that already. I was just testing you.
You motherfucker, you stole my line.
I'm also gonna replace sword group with axe group. So we basically invented a weapon. We've homebrewed, folks, in Pathfinder 2, but using the tools available. During the night, this zombie of a kobold with yellow glowing eyes, which is unusual. Zappy feels a little dizzy and also says, Mr. Norming, I don't feel too good. It turns out he's getting some similar symptoms, and the breakouts on his skin kind of look like what was happening to Hamburger. Filza says, this looks very serious. I know of some reagents, but we need to go out into the forest and find them.
Great impressions.
And Jelvid grabs your shoulder, Ariana, and says, You to be in charge. Remember the ways. Remember the teachings. Can you do this?
She'll just look at him and be like, be humble. Help others perfect themselves and practice discipline. I will do my best.
I believe this is an in-fiction reason as to their absence.
No, this is a way for the dungeon master to screw us over in the next encounter. I have
Right.
Pathfinder lets you scale things pretty easily. Published adventures are for 4 PCs, so I can just lower everything by 25%. Zappy says, make sure to get a good night of sleep, and I've already started the cooking. You just need... And is giving directions to the party on how to finish the omelet. He still has blood gushing out from the back of his head. You want to do some risky surgery?
Yes, absolutely. There was a technique that I learned in my monastery with a little bit of what's known as surgery.
Oh, absolutely. Whatever will help so that we don't have to split the party, which I hear is a really bad idea. Filza grabs Zappy and says, don't be foolish. Even if you are completely healed, we still need to see what is causing you to feel ill.
All right, so she's going to lay him out. Oh,
Ariana just
for my
7
damage.
slashing damage to Zappy.
Got a 1922 automatic critical success. 4d8. He heals for...
Wow, that was a perfully executed risky surgery.
Right.
Oh, you're a genius. Gilbert gives you a stern glare.
It was the hand of Aurori.
Filzo's just walking into the darkness without prompt, expecting everyone else to follow him, and they go. What does the party want to do upon returning to the monastery?
Why don't I try to sneak on ahead and see if they haven't set up any ambushes for us, since there was that one kobold that got away. I'm assuming then that I cannot be both like stealthing in exploration mode and like searching, right? Looking for traps.
Realistically, you're focused right now on avoiding notice. Then you're, behind that piece of cover, that tree, and then you're searching around you. And then you go to the next place. There is a fresh set of wolf tracks that is less than 12 hours old that is in this area.
So I hunt prey first.
You are confident.
So Orion bends down and picks up some dirt, spits it out, swallows a little bit, and goes, well, here's the thing, bud. These tracks are about 6 and 12 hours old, and judging by the looks of them, he gets down and like presses his face into the dirt. I would say there's about 3 of the wolfies.
The map to deselect everything.
I believe Megan wants you.
Yeah, she has both of her food installments, and I'm guessing she wants to sit in my lap, but she's not going to my lap. She's just emoting. Because you hunted prey, Orion, every +1 matters. You sense that there is some noise of some creature. You're guessing it's going to be in that hallway.
Perhaps we ought to try and flank them. I could go around the back.
I revised what I said earlier. I said 3, but actually I meant 2. And they're trying to be stealthy also. They decide to lunge out at you. So it spends its first action to run forward, and is going to try to bite you.
Would it go raw if it's a well-spoken wolf?
Before biting you, it says, roar, roar!
I love the adjectives that Foundry puts.
8 piercing damage, and they have this special ability, Knockdown. They can just make you prone for free as their next action.
What's my move speed?
30. However, you do have Flurry of Blows, so...
Right, but I also wanted to go into Dragon stance.
Choices.
Flurry of blows on this wolf. Now,
okay,
the question is, if I did not take the rogue archetype...
If you had not taken the archetype, this would not be flat-footed to you. If you wanted to remain hidden, you would have had to use the sneak action to go up to it and move at half speed and succeed on stealth each action.
Got it.
But because surprise attack doesn't care if you're hidden anymore.
Right, it's just flat-footed regardless.
21, and that is a hit. You might stun it. So it's going to do a fortitude save now. And it succeeds against your DC of 18.
Need a higher wisdom.
Actually, I think your DC is 18. This is not a key power, Kobe.
Yeah,
so
my
it's
monk
keyed
DC
off of
is
your
18.
main ability score, which is...
Got it. Strength.
It's about how hard you hit.
Right. Not how wise you are.
Okay, roll damage. Okay, 7. When you get to higher level, there's another rogue archetype feat to add sneak attack damage when they're flat-footed.
Yes.
But you don't have that
That
yet.
is my plan.
Well, I would like to take one action to stand up. I am going to do twin motherfucker takedown!
And it is flanked because of Holgrim.
I'm going to roll. Poorly. I am going
That's
to
a
roll
hit.
poorly.
Because you leveled
Okay.
up. If it were level 1, you were level 1, you would have missed every +1.
Take a shot every time he says every +1 matters. You'll black out and die by the end of this.
Okay,
wow,
5
no
damage.
damage.
That's a hit. And you have another action.
Can I try to intimidate it?
23.
And I've been saying this for all week, it seems. You don't want to do this.
It now has this status penalty to everything. Flat-footed comes up often, and is a circumstance penalty to AC, so it now has an effect of -3 to AC against Holgrim, and -1 to its attacks. Okay, Eloquent Wolf, it turns around and sees this threat from behind.
The eloquent wolf says, I say, I much prefer Mozart's Moonlight Sonata than...
It says, roar, roar, before attacking you.
Carry on,
22
it's
is
just
going to
a
hit.
true wordsmith.
8
come on.
damage, and is going to make you prone, and is going to run out and join the party out here.
I don't
1,
get an opportunity
2,
attack.
3. What's its speed? 35? Huh. So it's actually going to go into flanking position.
I raise up my flail, and it begins to glow with black negative energy. And 2 actions to cast Chill Touch.
Chill Touch is a spell attack roll, I believe, so yeah.
Is it a spell attack? Because it says that you also attempt a basic fortitude save.
I of course knew that, and I was just testing you.
This is the second time.
But it being flat-footed does not apply to this, because it's a saving throw.
DC 18.
Got a 17.
Let me roll damage.
Austin's waiting for me to say it, so I'm not going to say
8.
it.
That's 8 necrotic damage.
Necrotic. Negative damage.
1 action remaining. So I'm going to keep that flail going. I'm going to bring it down on its head again.
And because that was not an attack spell, this is at your full bonus.
Beautiful. That was my question.
Oh,
Actually, here comes the
nice.
flail.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Ooh, that is a
Gross.
critical hit.
How is that? How's that a critical?
Shot.
How's that a
Because you're
critical?
10 over its AC.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
its AC right now it's a 12 right now. You knocked it unconscious. Okay, Ariana, you're up.
All right, well, I guess I have to stand. So
You sound
that
so
requires an
inconvenienced by that.
action.
Yeah, all those little taxes on actions, I think Kobe's going to point them out every time they happen.
Yeah. Then I'm going to move, and then I'm going to enter Dragon Stance. So she's going to kind of center herself, and you're going to see this
That
almost
would
like...
end your turn.
Oh, no. Oh, because standing requires a son of a... All right. So Flurry of Blows. Here is attack the first.
Oh, that will definitely miss.
Attack the second.
Oh, no.
Double ones. Seriously.
All right.
Wow.
So how do you want to do this?
And she runs up, and then she gets knocked on her butt. She's just, she's all out of sorts.
Is she someone who gets really upset even though you've defeated the enemy? She's just
Oh, yeah.
hates
She's a
herself.
perfectionist.
Ronald, what is your law about the rule of cool?
Case by case.
In the fiction, could I theoretically call out to Holgrim and be like, let me use your shield as a ramp, run up, jump off his shield, do a front flip over the wolf, land on the other side, and then like, where are we on?
Okay.
that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna say it's gonna take 2 actions to do that. You'll have to do an acrobatics.
This is why Dungeon World's superior. Okay, 5, 10, 15.
Wait, hold on. What benefit would you have wanted to get, by the way? That's actually
None.
that's part of my
Just-
question.
I just
Be
wanted to
cool.
move to where I'm moving now,
Yeah.
but like that's way cooler.
Yeah.
Just do it then.
Okay, yeah. So Orion calls out to Holgrim and goes, "Let me use your shield, bud."
All right. One condition: leave bloody boot tracks on it.
I can't make any promises. And as he says that, he runs up the shield, jumps over, does a front flip like Yoda in Star Wars Episode 3, fighting Count Dooku or whatever, and lands on the other side.
Wolf
of
says,
Wolf.
"Roar."
Twin takedown, battle axe.
That is a hit.
Some
Okay,
damage.
you have to roll more than 2 on damage.
Champ.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh,
Also almost a crit.
once
You're gonna
again.
hate the video when every +1 matters comes up 6 times, Austin. Wait,
gonna
no,
do a
this is a
react-
crit. This is a crit. I forgot that it was Yeah! There you go. Go ahead.
Let's go.
Click critical
Okay.
damage. That is 20 damage. All right.
I told you, you don't wanna do this. And with like one massive just cleaves the thing's head right off. As the head drops down, he looks up at his companions and goes, "I feel kind of bad, guys."
I wouldn't. I believe they would have done the same to us.
Okay, despite what I've been saying, Orion's been pretty badass the past 24 hours. Or 16 hours.
Indeed.
Let's say when he was paralyzed upside down in a gelatinous cube, something changed in him.
Yeah, it awoke his sicko mode. His Rinnegan, awoken.
There is a secret door while you're searching. This is a short corridor, but one side is a wall of bars, 4 cramped cells. And you see a skeleton leg extending from this angle. This person seems to be in a fetal position on the bed and seems to have a ring on its finger.
Try the door.
There's a clattering sound of bones in the other cells. And there are closed doors in these cells, so you'd have to interact with them too.
Oh, son of a... All right. That means I can't do Dragon Stance.
You can open it from where you were originally.
I'm going to open the door, move here. I'm going to use my key strike. Positive damage.
That is a hit. So you did 10 bludgeoning damage and 4 positive damage. So that's 14 damage. You basically defeated it already.
I'm going to open the gate.
That is
massive quantities of
Crit
damage.
18. It resists 5 of that because you're doing slashing damage, and this is also pulverized.
We left you one.
And call out to my deity to bless me. All right, God thing, let's do this! And a beam of golden energy streaks out. I'm casting Divine Lance.
Oh,
Come on, God thing! I was counting on you!
It tries to claw at you through the bars, which actually does provide cover. Oh, geez, this is not the most exciting foe.
Now, I could attack the Gallant Skeleton Guard, but it would have cover from me.
The
From this
cell's
position?
also closed, so I'm going to give it +3.
I could tumble through.
But
right?
the cell door is closed.
So once again, I
You
cannot
never
get
go into Dragon's Dance ever!
Ever. Because doors. I am now like critical role. My doors are my biggest nemesis. I will open said door and I will flurry of blows on this skeleton.
Oh,
And
Jesus. You guys are either critting or rolling ones. 15 damage, and that is enough. Actually, mechanically, they only have 4 hit points, you guys.
Wow.
But they have resistance 5 to a bunch of things.
I just look over at Holgrim and I say, I wanted to give you a chance, bud.
And I appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Ariana.
I was just trying to make sure that you stayed safe.
I got chain armor and a shield and a flail and the best deity in the whole realm protecting me, and you're gonna keep me safe?
That's right. I am. And she'll just like walk out the door.
There is a ring on the finger, and actually it is a ring to Torag. Once per round, if you're taking persistent fire damage, you can interact with it to put out the flame, or try to, and it's only a DC of 10. The other thing that you can do once per day is, as a reaction, when you are targeted by a fire effect, get resistance 5 against fire, and a +1 status bonus to your defense against it.
Are there the equivalent of like attunement slots in Pathfinder
Yes.
2?
But there are 10 of them.
Ah, that's much better. I should have mentioned that in my video that went out today.
5e did it for a good reason, to prevent the Christmas tree effect from 3rd edition. Pathfinder 2 has its own take on that. It still has some essential math-enhancing items. If you become a master in your skill, you're still super awesome.
There was apparently a follower of Torag here incarcerated. I wonder what that says about which deity this temple was constructed for.
That was part of what
Torag
motivated Druengar to go in, to see what actually befell the dwarves. That's the mystery. Her corpse did not animate. And also, those skeletons had the same yellow glow in their eyes.
As the kobold did?
Yes. It's an ancient shrine. At the far end sits a large ceremonial anvil. Its surface is defaced.
Holgrim, can you make out what used to be embossed on this anvil?
And as you approach, you hear flapping above you on the ceiling. They look like stalactites with wings as legs.
They're on the ceiling. How far up is the ceiling?
The ceiling is 20 feet.
Can I just say, ready a flurry of blows as soon as one of these creatures gets within my reach?
Yes.
Then that's what I'll do.
Is there anything else you want to do first?
Well, I can't Dragon Stance because... Oh wait, you said I use my reaction. So I don't have to save one of my actions to Flurry of Blows. I spend 2 to ready, then I spend a 3rd to do whatever I want, and then the thing that gets triggered uses my reaction, not one of my 3 actions.
And the last nuance is that ready needs to finish your turn. You cannot do any other actions after you're ready.
Got it. Okay, in that case, I'm going to go into Dragon Stance, finally. You're going to see this kind of reddish aura come around over her head and shoulders and legs, actually. Then she's just going to kind of take a stance and look up. And
I raise my hand up and say, all right, God thing, let's try this again. Golden energy. I point it at the dark bat.
You need to do alignment damage with this. You can also recall knowledge to try to figure out its alignment, too.
I'd like to do that, actually.
You're going to get 2 pieces of information, which clues you in that you critically succeeded. You know that it is simply a animal in nature. It's not aligned with evil, good, or law, or chaos. They're known for spreading a magical darkness. They have tremor sense that is precise.
Take that ready thing to do chill touch on it if it comes near me.
That's a 2-action spell. You could ready a strike.
I will ready a strike then. The first thing that comes near me is the trigger.
The Relieve Dark Mantle shoots out a blob, a dark blob. It's going to create an area of darkness. Then it flies down. However, it is not sneaking down. So the party knows what square it's in. Basically, you're hearing it fly down towards you, Ariana, and you can use your reaction once it reaches you to try to hit it.
the way this works then is I have to do a DC 11 flat check for each strike.
You failed that flat check for the first attacks. Ah, okay. All right, attack with a multiple attack penalty. But I think this has backswing, so let's add 1 to it.
True.
14 Ooh, almost. And you're going to see the annoying pop-up that used all 3 of its actions. Shooting the blob took 2 actions.
So I'm going to go into the darkness, ready in action, ready to strike if anything, has the cojones to approach me.
Rational Dark Mantle is going to fly. Does not go in Hulgrim's reach. And Orion's thing is triggered.
Goddamn right it is.
But
Correct
you need
order.
to do the flat check.
The what?
Because you don't see it.
Cool.
Okay, that's a possible hit. Now do your strike. That is a hit. Ooh, you rolled higher than a 2. You feel warm blood spray on you. As it now attacks you, you are flat-footed because you can't see it. Feel a tentacle slap.
Ooh.
13.
I didn't realize we were in Hentai, the RPG.
Second tentacle hits its target. Ooh, 9 bludgeoning damage to you. Okay.
I feel so violated. We're gonna end it on that, of course.
We are. Kobe, any comments before you go?
I'm realizing that what I was assuming is true. Hidden and darkness are really potent. Like 50% chance to not even be able to hit in the first place, regardless of what your plus to hit is, regardless of what you're rolling, what their enemy AC is. I'm wondering, with this darkness, does Pathfinder distinguish between magical darkness and regular?
Yeah, darkness operates differently. If I recall, 5e darkness foils dark vision. Here, for purposes of dark vision, there's no distinction.
But so Luke can see these without any penalty. He's fine, right? Because he's a dwarf. So anyway, no, I like it. Gosh, I'm not gonna lie. Like the more I play Pathfinder and the more I learn about it, the more I enjoy it. And that could just be like D&D burnout. And maybe I'll change if I take a break from it for a while. Right now, like I just love the crunch. I love the crunchiness and the tacticalness. I hate that opening doors takes an action. And I get a little bit annoyed when, movement isn't separate from the 3 action economy, but I get it. I'll get used to it, I'm sure.
I'm going to just point out for now and not say much on it, but not everything's folded into advantage or disadvantage. So you can still frighten the enemy and it has an effect while darkness is applied. Also, sneak attack damage can still work against the Dark Mantle if you can somehow flank it or...
Right, because it'd still be flat-footed.
Or feint against it. Yeah.
Off that thought of everything takes an action, that's actually one of the things I really, really like, because one of the things that I noticed when running 5th edition is that there's a lot of vagueness around all these different things and what's a free action and all this kind of stuff. So we'll sometimes get as players will want to try to get away with stuff and do more than they technically should be able to do. So a system that just embraces that pretty much anything you want to do is an action, is an action, is an action. It just makes it easier to adjudicate, and the players know that that's just in the rule book. It's a little bit limiting, perhaps, but I don't know. I kind of like that.
Well, and, if the enemies have the same mechanics, it's like, it's not like it's punishing you. It's very fair.
I see where they're going with 5e to kind of push some mechanics out of the way, especially helpful for new players. You don't have to worry about, did I have my axe out? Don't have to worry about that because it's a free thing you can do during your turn. Yeah. But what if you need to switch weapons? Then there's that issue of putting your axe away and then interacting with the second thing.
There are so many things that don't have rules around them that a dungeon master will invariably have to house rule a lot of things. If you want to pull your sword out and then sheath it and then get another one or something, you know what I mean? It's like there's so many things that aren't addressed that you're having to do all these house rules constantly. There's like a drawback to trying to make it rules light too, because things come up that you have to make rulings on.
One of my constant frustrations is, so you've got your actions and you've got your bonus actions, and it's like never the twain shall meet. And I always have been frustrated by it's like, if it's a bonus action, could I just use my action to do another bonus action? It's supposed to be like a lesser, quicker thing, but like, nope, you can't. Granted, you could house rule that, and I think a lot of people do, but like, playing it by the book, I get frustrated when it's like, okay, there's 2 bonus action things I want to do on this turn, but I can't.
Yeah, then you get into like, I cast a spell as a bonus action, but then a player tries to cast a leveled spell, which you're not supposed to do. You can like cast a cantrip. But it's like, if you just have 3 actions, period of story, then I could cast a 2-action spell, and I believe a Pathfinder cast a 1-action spell, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, or like a focus spell, or make a weapon attack, or...
Exactly. Like I did that one time. I I cast my whatever spell it was, and then I smoked with my flail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And actually, I was going to say, when you did that, I was like, I love Gish builds, right? Spell swords, whatever you want to call them. And as I've been going through the core rulebook, it's like, gosh, there's no, at least in the core rulebook, I know that there's Gishier classes in other books. Because of the attack penalty, it's like, well, you don't want to be making a spell attack and then weapon attacks because you're going to suffer the same. But if you can cast like a spell that does damage, but that's based on an enemy DC, and then make a weapon attack, like there's your Gish.
5e is the best system for new players, A, because of the name brand recognition, but B, because it kind of does everything, kind of, but like really poorly. So like, how Luke was saying how it's like 5e DMs, you have to make up a lot of shit on the spot. I think what's so confusing about that is that there are so many rules and then it just trails off. And it's like, but then make up the other stuff. Whereas like a true rules light system is just like make up everything. Gross overgeneralization. And so to y'all's point of, it is really nice having everything laid out and very clear. So like when I get into that, I want to play a role-playing game. Like Pathfinder really hits that niche.
Austin's a rules light, if that's what he
You should check
does.
out
A lot
my
of rules light stuff.
check out my channel. I'm not trying to tell epic narratives all the time. Sometimes I just want to roll some motherfucking dice, do some twin takedown. It's the fact that it leans into trying to do something, unlike 5th edition, which I feel like doesn't try to do anything. And so it does that something really, really well.
What 5th edition is trying to do is not be 4th edition, and they succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was their biggest goal.
I mean,
Make
they literally
something really
said
well.
it explicitly. We're trying to draw from all the editions, so I
Yeah.
think it made sense in 2014. All right, if there's nothing else, I had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, same.
All right,
fun.
see you later. All right, bye.